Hey guys, what's up? It's Moddz and welcome back to Mobis Kitchen. Now in this episode, we're not doing a Fallout cookbook or any recipe from a cookbook. We're doing a Mobi recipe, something I've learned from family and I want to put in myself to give to you guys so you could do it. This I learned from my sister. It's a very simple meal. It's basically a simplified version of her loaded potato soup, except not exactly loaded. Instead, I used the base of her idea and made a cheddar potato soup, cheddar and ham potato soup. So here's what you'll need. If you got jumbo potatoes, maybe 4 or 5 jumbo potatoes. I don't. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 regular sized potatoes. They're russets. And they're peeled nicely. I'm going to be using cheese, a whole bag here of extra sharp cheddar, a whole thing of boneless cubed ham, a little bit of butter, right? I don't know if you can see that. Can you see that? A little bit of butter, ham, cheese. I will be using for the broth, I'll be using obviously tap water. I will be using powdered chicken stock or powdered chicken bouillon by, I believe this is called Knoll. I can't read cursive too well. But basically, this is my preferred brand, non-sponsored, because I like to use it because it's got the most flavor to it, as opposed to just Meyer brand stuff. And also, it's already powdered, so you don't have to wait for a cube to melt. It saves you half the time waiting the cube to melt, so it cuts your time straight in half. Very good. To go into the broth, we will also be using dried dill weed, a little sprinkling of tagine, pepper, and onion powder. Now the tagine is completely optional. You don't need tagine. I just add it because I like the flavor of tagine. You don't need tagine for this, my choice. But I do highly recommend getting dried dill for this because it does add a nice flavor. Just a little handful, not too much. Now, to start, we will get the water in and we'll fill the pot up. Get the pot nice and filled. And I'm doing it with hot water so it starts boiling faster. Because, honest to God, I'm doing this while I'm hungry. I've actually kind of got a headache because I'm hungry. I've got a hungry headache. Now, the way you do this, right? Let me get a spoon. Now, this is just going to be me. So, if you're cooking for other people, obviously don't double dip with the same spoon you just tasted with the first time. Don't do that. But I'm by myself. And I'm not sharing this with anyone. I'm just going to have it in my fridge so I can have it over the course of a few days. So, but if you're making this for someone, don't double dip like I'm about to do. That's not cool. Don't do that. Get a new spoon every time. Or wash off the spoon you used. Now, usually they say if I read on it, they say, where is it? Oh, yes. A teaspoon equals 1 cube. Personally, I know how to do this, so some people disagree. My mom disagrees with this too, but I simply gently shake it in and I eyeball it. Say, that's about good for now. And so what I'll do is I'll stir it up with a spoon, and we'll taste it. Now, if it's too salty, I've overdone it. It's not salty enough. A little more. It's close though. Okay. This is how I do it. See, like I said, don't double dip if you're making for other people. Wash your spoon every time. Money. Because the ham's gonna add salt. That's money shot right there. That's good. Now, to add to this broth, a sprinkling of onion powder, a good shake. Get the onion powder in there like that. Now for the dill, you want to sprinkle just a little bit. So you could pick it up like this and sprinkle it in like that. And then take the rest and just a little bit, you know. I'd say roughly a teaspoon would be a good idea of dill. Maybe, a teaspoon's about right. Now, just a bit of tagine, not too much. Again, optional. And then finally the black pepper, which I gotta be careful with this mill because it's broken. I'm trying to cut myself on plastic today. Alright. I hope that milled right because this thing's busted to hell. I gotta get it. I would like for Christmas, hopefully, I didn't tell my mom, but I totally would like at one point, or at least the money to go buy a pepper mill so I can throw those peppercorns in a pepper mill and grind them up properly. Alright, now that we got everything set up, I'm going to stir it all in a moment. Here, here. Let's stir it all in. And now, that dill really does it in that, I'm telling you. Now, we're going to get this boiling right away. On the stove. Set it to at least a 6, so a medium heat. Let that do its thing. Potatoes. You're going to cut them lengthwise. Lay them flat on their flat sides. Cut them lengthwise once more. Then turn them sideways and cut them up into chunks. You're going to repeat this with every potato. Did I say tomato before? I don't think I did, but you're going to repeat this with every single potato. You're going to put them off to the side here, especially the big ones. Just straight down the middle. Then do so again and again, and then you're gonna cut them into chunks. Chunks don't have to be particularly big, they just gotta be medium. Don't make them too tiny, otherwise the potatoes will cook too quickly and melt too fast. You want to have a decent chunk of potato, because the whole point of it is it's a potato soup, so you want to have a piece of potato in your mouth. That's what you want. So you don't want it to be lost in everything else. The potato is a big part of this. So, now another thing. If for whatever reason, right, you can't get your hands on ham, for whatever reason, a substitute to use for ham is Spam. And now I recommend, because of the saltiness, I recommend the 25% less sodium Spam. I assure you, that's all I've been eating instead of the regular Spam. A lot less sodium, sure, like 25% less. But it's not bad. It does not affect the flavor of Spam at all. And if you love Spam, 25% less sodium, it's good for you. Now, for a particularly tiny potato like this, you do not need to cut it lengthwise twice. You can just literally chop it into chunks because of how tiny it is. You really don't need to for this one. You know, tinier potatoes really don't need to, except for maybe the not this one. Okay, we just cool. All right. And finally, the last potato. Right. Alright, now we're going to take this whole thing of potatoes, and we're going to put it in the stock right now. Alright, so I'm going to stand over here because this is like the best way I can get an angle. I literally had to finagle a coffee container to make this work. So we're here, and here's what you're going to need to know. So grab the ham, the butter, and the cheese. Put all this right here. Ham, the cheese, and the butter. So now that we're doing this, here's what you're going to need to know. So we're going to get a wooden spoon. And now with the wooden spoon, you're going to try and constantly mix, especially when it starts boiling. Keep mixing every now and again on the potatoes. And now you'll know the potatoes are done and ready when you could take a potato with your spoon and push it up against the side of the pot. And that potato will not resist and it will squish. It'll like basically flatten out and have next to no resistance. That is when you know your potatoes are cooked through and through. So we're going to let this do that, and then we will be back when that is done. Alright, I found a better spot. It's a little cabinet I got that's perfect view. So now, I've already checked, but the way you check once it's all good and boiling and it's been boiling for a little bit, you want to take the thickest piece of potato, because if you're anything like me, right, your cutting skills as a home cook aren't the greatest, but that's alright. So we're going to push against the thickest piece of potato, and it gives pretty easily. Now, it is not fully done yet. There is still a little bit of a resistance. So what I'm going to do in this time, I'm going to add the ham. So the ham has time to get to know the broth and the potatoes. Obviously, if you're cooking for yourself or for family, or you have a dog next to you, one for the dog, good girl, and of course, one for yourself. Good ham. Now we're going to put the ham in, juices and all. That's why I said the salty. You don't want it to be too salty. Okay, now all the ham's in there. You're going to want to mix it and make sure it gets all even and nice and under the broth with the potatoes. They get to know each other. Now the ham may be in a big cubey-like chunk, like a bunch of cubes stuck together. Make sure you push on it. Make sure you get it all broken apart so that it can sit nice and be nice with the potatoes and stuff. But there's one part I did honestly forget to mention. You're going to want cornstarch. Now, cornstarch plus a little bit of milk. And you put the cornstarch in, milk on top, whisk it together. That gives you a thickener. You want the soup to be thick. You want it to be almost not exactly stew consistency, but you don't want it to be super loose either. That's what makes it good. So for the correct measurement, I'll be using this cup of a mouse that we do not speak of because yes. And I will get just a little bit of the cornstarch in here. And now a little bit of milk. Now if you don't got milk, water works just as fine, so don't worry. Also, to add to this, when I usually add the butter, I would add sour cream to this. I forgot the sour cream, but that is something you could add yourself. If you're wondering how much sour cream to add, you know those tiny containers that you can fit in the palm of your hand? The whole enchilada of that. A whole thing. Just pop the lid off, peel the plastic off, pop in. The whole thing. Now I will take a fork to whisk this up. A little fork. Just get in there, make sure it's nice and evenly incorporated. Until it like foams and it's kind of like smooth consistency. Not sticking to the fork too much, but it's perfectly fine. Cool. Now we have our thickener for the next few moments. We'll check the potatoes again. And within this time, they have gotten perfectly soft and are ready for the next steps. Take a decent sized spoon like this, go into your butter. I'm not saying get a huge glob, but get about roughly this much. Just a nice little scoop. And you put it in. Now softened butter will make this job a lot easier, I assure you. But if you don't got softened butter, you know, it'll soften soon enough. Now mix that in. Make sure your butter is nice and incorporated. Make sure that melts in there nice and incorporated, mixed in. And finally, you will be adding your cheddar. I choose sharp cheddar because of its strong taste of cheddar. I love this. It's goodness. So we'll get our sharp cheddar bag. And this is 2 cups, about 2 cups, an 8-ounce bag, the whole thing. You put in, you open it. If I could open it. Try not to explode everywhere. There we go. You put in the whole enchilada. A little for yourself. Cheese tacks for the dog. And the rest. Right on in there. Whole enchilada. Now, you're going to stir this up. And as you do, the cheese will help thicken it too. So you're going to stir it up. And you'll know it's fully incorporated when your soup turns kind of like an orangish deep yellow. It's fully incorporated. Now we add our thickener while stirring. So drizzle it in while stirring. Make sure it gets evenly incorporated. Now we'll pop a lid on it. We'll let it boil, and we'll let it do its thing, incorporate, and then after it's done boiling, right? After you're done letting it sit under there boiling for a while, you turn off the heat, remove the lid, and let it kind of air cool. Let it calm down, let it simmer, let it just kind of like, no, not simmer, but like, let it cool. Let it cool with the heat off. This whole time I've been cooking on medium, by the way, so just so you know. Alright. So I'll be back when the soup is ready to be put in a bowl and ready to be eaten. So see you then. Alright, and it's done, it's cooled, and I got some in a bowl here. So let us try it. Now there's one thing I want to point out. Keep an eye on it while it's in its final stages, you know, cheese melting, butter, and all that thickening. Keep an eye on it while it boils because if you take your eyes off it for so much as really a second, it can start sticking to the bottom, so you want to constantly stir it. Other than that, let's get right to it. Cheesy, creamy. The potatoes, they melt in your mouth. The ham, perfectly tender. It is perfect. Simple, easy. Takes maybe 30 minutes tops. Good idea to make a whole pot of it. It's not overly salty. That was a good call because the ham made it perfect. It is perfect. I cannot recommend this enough as a recipe I always love to make when I get the opportunity. I recommend you try the same. Seriously. But anyways, that'll be it. That'll be the cheddar, cheese, and potato and ham soup. Definitely check it out. Guys, definitely do this, follow along and make this because this is actually really good and I'm sure it will impress a lot of your family if you make this for dinner one night. So yeah. Anyways, thank you all so much for watching. If you like this video, then we can hit that like button, don't forget to subscribe, and don't forget to hit that bell icon so you can be notified when new videos just like this one. Anyways, thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.